All right, everybody, welcome back into another weekly recap. This one is going to be a really fast and quick recap on our main pairs. As usual, the pairs are gold, Bitcoin, EuroDollar, and GJ. We start having a look at what happened. We had on Monday some Federal Reserve speaker. We had on Tuesday some ECB speeches and some more Fed speeches, Fed members speaking. On Wednesday, we had some news and reports for the GBP. We had the CPI, the retail price index, and the PPI, as well as the PPI for and CPI for the Eurozone. Then, of course, we had some other speaker from the Fed in the evening and the Fed book, bearish book on the economic outlook. On Thursday, the usual jobless claims combined with the Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey and the consumer confidence for the Eurozone to close off on Friday with some GBP consumer confidence, retail sales, and market services for the Eurozone, and if I'm not mistaken, also for the USA. There you go. And to finish off, we had Fed Chair Powell speaking, and we're going to see the impact on the market of that speeches. So we start off on gold, as you can see, on button. Why these do not combine? Doesn't matter. If you see from the 18th of October, we were just in a very small range between 1772 and 1764/1760s. We broke up during the Asian session of the Tuesday just to get back into the range after on Tuesday as well during the day. As you can see, we broke up and then we continued down. We never made new lows. We never broke, not even retesting 1764, and then we just came up and bullish. As you see, we didn't have any news, and as well, we were just playing the key levels. We had a new high being printed on Wednesday, the 20th. Little bounce, pull back to 1776 PSA, but after that, just making a little order block, as you can see. Not even on Tuesday, not even the jobless claims caused any huge reaction, even if they were much better than prior. But what caused some action was that we saw through Friday, we saw very bullish price action, creating another block above 1789 key level, break up, retest of 1803, revisiting 1812.5, and then here we had very optimistic headlines coming from Powell, which gave very, very strong bearish action on gold. As you can see, it went all the way back into the range, correcting multiple hours of bullish price action in like a few hours as well, much less time. And as you can see, we closed off the week in this range. On Bitcoin, very interesting. We had the printing of the new all-time high, which came on Wednesday, the 20th, after a very bullish action. We were bearish since last week, respecting timeline, respecting the PPLs and key levels. As you can see, multiple bounces from the key level 61, 750, 700, which might also be the PPL 750. A retest slightly lower. Break and retest of this big PSA and resistance, and then continuation up. We are already above 63, 750. and we are very, very close to make a new all-time high, which is like above this PSA. We make 67K, new all-time high. After that, of course, just a correction, never closing below this previous highs, an attempt to break again, and then the usual profit taking and correction after making new all-time high, which is perfectly normal in this occasion. As you can see here, this is still Friday, and during the weekend we just ranged, but we are still very bearish on the high time frame. On the intraday time frame, we are still very bearish overall. EuroDollar followed much the path of dollar itself. As you can see, this week we started with weakness coming from these previous highs. We had the pullback last week, the start of the pullback last week, the continuation here after retesting this previous PSA and bouncing up, down, just a break and retest, and going back down to this demand area at 93,400-ish, 93.5. We are bouncing, but we are still in this very bearish price action, and this is very much reflected on EuroDollar when you see that the price went for a slight dollar strength. Of course, these are two different charts, but when at the start of, as you can see, the day on Monday, we had a small bullish action, but it was very immediately corrected, and we had dollar weakness as reflected here, which then continued more or less every time on euro dollar with this range that played out the dollar weakness and sometimes ranging part. As you can see, we ended up closing into a range, and this is reflected on euro dollar. As a PSA, you can clearly see it. We are still well above 1.1622, which is a huge demand area for this week, and price never broke below and gave us nice bounces from the area, from the zone. On GJ as well, we were in a buy bias from last week. We were just looking for pullbacks or sellers exhaustion at each level, PPL or PSA, as you can see, giving you many opportunities to enter on a main bias, which was bullish, taking advantage of optimism into the pound about interest rate talks, and but still failing to break multiple times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 158.200, which was a high risk high reward sell area, which played out here for more than 100 pips. Very huge correction from 157 demand area on a high time frame. It makes sense because it's the previous highs, a bounce for other pips correction, but after that, after failing again to break above, you see again a correction to this level. As you can see, both times you had, let me clear it, you had here this and this. You have a break and retest and then continuation down. Here it was multiple times because it gave 157.1, gave you many opportunities for bounces, bullish bounces. But after that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to break again above this PSA, which is these lows, and which was this PSA again, and give you opportunity for high risk, high reward sells, which was with many confirmation below PPLs and PSAs for many pips through the week. As you can see, this PSA gave you nice break and retest on the dot in continuation down for almost, this is 80 pips, almost 100 pips. And this is it. I don't have ready the headlines. Let me see if I can find it. You find them on my Telegram. Just while it loads, I have the dollar index. As you can see, we are still clearly bullish, but we have 1, 2 bounces, 3 bounces from 94,400, giving us a deeper pullback, still respecting the bullish overall time market structure. There you go. Let's see if I can find them. Okay, as you can see, want to give us an assertion. Okay, now this one is about the investigation. Delta fades, very possible full employment. We also had some talks about tapering. Not yet time to raise rates, but it's time to taper. It's very clear, it's very strong. We have a base case, blah, 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 the supply. Okay. My position. Premature to raise rates. But it's very bullish. We are on track to begin our taper. This was at 17.15 on Friday. Is exactly the start of the bearish from 1810 to 1795, which is like 300 pips, 250 pips, due to the optimism brought by Powell on the table. And this is it, guys, for the weekly recap. See you next time.